Now let's move to the next part of this Apex class. So as of now, we have got the access token through this method, but who's going to call this access token method is our get session ID. Again, if I go back to the Postman, so if you see to start the session, we were passing the agent ID here, and in the authorization, we were passing the access token. So as of now, we have the access token. And now the next step is we need to invoke this endpoint passing the access token in the header. And in the body, we need to pass this JSON, and what it will return us back is the session ID. So let's just do that once. So we got the access token, click on proceed and use the token. So now this token is updated. And then here in the start session, now we can invoke this endpoint where we have to pass the agent ID. And this is the payload that we need to pass in the body, and in the authorization, we are passing the access token. Once we hit this, it will give us the session ID. Right, so here is the session ID. And now if you remember, when we hit this next API, which is the final API, in this one we have to pass the session ID as well as the token. So as of now, the Apex method that we have written is giving us back the access token, and now we are going to write this method which is going to give us the session ID. But to hit this endpoint, the send message synchronous or streaming, we need both. We need the access token and we need the session ID. So what I'm trying to say is that now the method that we are going to write, it should not just return session ID, but it should also return the access token. Obviously the access token, it is going to get from the previous method that we wrote, and put together, it should frame a wrapper which will have the session ID and the token. Because once we hit this endpoint, in this one, we have to pass the access token as well as the session ID. So now let's just write a method which will hit this endpoint and get the session ID from here. So point to be remember is this is the endpoint that we are going to hit, and in this one the body will be this JSON payload. And I can comment this code for now. Okay, so here let's write another method. Now, what is this method going to return? Is it only going to return us the session ID? Like this one is returning us the access token. This new method, what is it going to return? The session ID? No, we need the access token as well as session ID. The access token is returned by this get token method. I'm not going to call this method again and again because it will make call out again and again. We already got the access token, which our session ID method will invoke right now. And since the method will have access to access token as well as session ID, so it can return a wrapper containing both. So I'm just going to create a wrapper here. So this is a session info wrapper, and in this one I'm going to store access token as well as session ID, and you see that I'm marking it as aura enabled. So which means that this information will be sent back to the LWC component. So the goal here is that the method that we are about to write right now will be run by the connected callback. The moment our LWC component loads, that is where we are going to invoke the session method that will give us the access token as well as session ID, and we will keep it handy in the LWC component. And anytime we have to invoke the agent, we will always pass the both access token and the session ID to that method. So now next step is we need to write this method to get the session ID. First of all, again in the Postman we saw that we need to prepare this JSON. Again in this one there are some parameters which are actually optional, like time zone and all. If you want to skip, you can skip that. But overall this is the payload that we have to prepare. In this one there are two important things. One is the external session key, which is basically a random ID that you have to generate, and it should be always random in every time you want to generate a session ID. And you have to pass the org domain as well. So first let's write a method which is going to prepare this JSON for us. So I'm going to copy this method from my existing class and I'm going to paste it here. So let's just see what is this method doing. So the name of the method is getJSONBody. It is generating a session key. Again, it is just using crypto.getRandomLong. So it will give us a random value that we are going to use as a session key. So this is where we are preparing that JSON body, and it is actually copy paste of this this payload. I need the external session key, which is a random ID. So here it is, external session key, which is the session key here, which is actually a random code. And then after that we need the instance config. Within that we need the endpoint. So instance config, in that I have endpoint, which is my org domain. And how is this org domain coming? This is coming from the metadata. So in the metadata we have stored this org domain, right? So that is what it is coming. And then all these parameter I'm storing it. If you don't want, you can remove these values from here. But overall this is the JSON body that we need to send while making a call out to the session endpoint. So this is the method that I'm going to utilize. So now I have my response, which I need to send back to whoever is going to call this session endpoint, and in this session endpoint and in that session endpoint, this is the method that it will execute to get the JSON body that it needs to send. So now let's write the method here. Again, it is written, so I'm just copy pasting here, and it is aura enabled. So you see this get session get token method is not aura enabled. LWC is not going to call this one, rather it is going to call this get session info method from the connected callback. That is why I marked it as aura enabled. And here the first thing that we are doing is getting the token, because you know that to get the session we need to pass the token. So this is where we are going to call this token. It will give us the token. So this token is going to be stored here, and then we are going to make a call out to the API endpoint. Here we were making call out to the token endpoint, and now we are making call out to the API endpoint. And if you remember in the metadata, we have this API endpoint as this till v1. So after v1 we have to concatenate which endpoint that we want to invoke. So in the postman we can see that for session after v1 we have to add agents, and we have to pass the agent id / sessions. So let's go back to the VS Code. So here that is what I'm doing, API endpoint, which will be till v1. After that we are saying that / agents, and this is the agent id I'm passing. So for whichever agent I want to start the session, that agent id I'm passing here. Again, this agent id is coming from the metadata. We have stored the agent id in the agent ID in the metadata. So that is what I'm getting here. And this is my final endpoint that I need to invoke. And this is my endpoint. The method will be post. So now to make call out to this endpoint, we need to pass the access token. And that access token we have already obtained through this method. So this method was giving us the access token that is here. And that is what we are passing here. Content type is applicant JSON. And in the body, we have to pass that JSON, which we saw in the postman. So this is the JSON that we need to pass in the body. So I'm calling it here get JSON body. It will give us this JSON structure which we need to pass. And finally we are making a call out here. This will give us a response body. And if I show you what exactly we are going to get back, we are going to get back this entire payload. This entire payload is what I'm going to get back. So I'm interested in the session ID. If you want to show this message, you can actually work with the messages payload here, but I need this session ID. This is what I'm going to send back, and I'm going to use it again and again. So that is what we are doing that. So once we get back the response, if the response is not null, we are going to parse it, and from that I'm going to extract the session ID, and then I'm preparing this wrapper, session info wrapper, which we declared here. In the session info wrapper, we are going to send the access token and the session ID. So we are storing the access token and the session ID, and this is what we are returning back. So I hope you understood the flow. This is the method that will be invoked by the LWC component or whatever you are building, whatever is your UI. This is the backend that you have to invoke. You need to invoke this get session info, because this is the one that will make a call out to get the token, and then it will get the session ID and it will send it back to the caller. So again, if it is a LWC component, that is why I need it to be aura enabled. Right, and at this point we will have the session information. So let's just test it out here. So I can say that the session will be okay. So headless agent service dot get session info, I'm going to call this method, and but before that I need to deploy this. So we made some changes, we have to deploy that to the org. Right, so there is no error here, and let's just invoke it. What will happen is, if it gives us the session information back, then we should get this wrapper with access token and the session ID. So let's just see that. Right, so here we see that the session info is session info. So we have the access token and we have the session ID. Access token is this big one till this point, and then we have the session ID. So with this method, we are getting the access token and we are getting the session ID, and we are ready to make call out to the final endpoint, which could be your synchronous endpoint or the streaming endpoint, because in the synchronous one or streaming one, we were passing the access token and we were passing the session ID, and in the body, we just need to send our text message. And now let's move to the next endpoint, which is this send message endpoint. So either you can use the synchronous one or the streaming API one. Both authorization is same. So in authorization, we have to pass the access token. In the body also, we have the same body here in the synchronous one. And in the streaming also, we have to pass the same body. Only difference is in the endpoint we have messages / stream, and in this one it is just messages. So for our use case, we are going to work with this one. Here the important point is that in the authorization we have to pass the access token, and in the URL we have to pass the session ID, and both of this information is given by the get session info method that we have just wrote. So the only thing that we have to do in this new method is we have to prepare this JSON, which is actually very simple one. We just need a sequence ID, again some random timestamp that you can send here, the type, what is the message type that you want to send, and the actual message or the prompt that you want to send to this particular agent. So this session is currently having with an agent. So to that agent, what is the prompt that you want to send? So this is the JSON body that we have to prepare. Again, the endpoint is same, like till v1 it is same. After that, we have to invoke the sessions endpoint. Here we were invoking the agents endpoint. In this case, we have to invoke the sessions endpoint, pass the session ID / messages, and in the body pass this payload. So let's just write this new method. So here, after this, we can write this new method, and I'll explain you what we are doing here. So here you see that this is the invoke agent method, where we are going to pass the access token, the session ID, and the final message. So this access token and the session ID is actually stored through this method. When we invoke this method, it would give us the access token as well as the session ID that we are going to store it into the LWC's variable. And that is where we will pass here the access token and the session ID and the user message as well. So the flow of execution will be like this. In the LWC component, we will invoke this method in the connected callback, and it will return back the access token and session ID, which LWC component will store. And every time when we have to invoke the agent, we will call this method, pass the same access token and the same session ID and the message here. So this message is something that we will prepare in the LWC itself. So let's say when the user selects one of the book, then we will prepare a dynamic message saying that recommend similar books with this title, this genre, and this language. So that message is something we will prepare in the LWC and we will pass here. And then we are going to hit this endpoint where we are going to invoke our agent. So the same API endpoint, which is ending with v1, and we know that to access the messages, we need to call the sessions / the session ID which was generated for that agent, and messages. Here we are going to make a post call out, and then the token is the same token we are passing here as well. And as we saw in the postman, this is the JSON body that we have to pass. We need to pass the sequence ID, which is the timestamp. So we are just getting the timestamp here, and the text message, whatever is the prompt that user has given, the same prompt we are sending here and making a call out. So what it will return us back is, let's see, postman here. And if we hit here, I hope the token is still valid. Okay, token is expired. So again, same thing you have to see in your LWC as well, in your master, or what is the timeout of your token. In case the token expires, then you should generate a new token and get a new access token. Start a session and then send this message endpoint. So this is the payload that it will send us back. Again, this is a synchronous one, so it will wait for the message to completely generate. And in this one, we have this messages. Within that, we have the actual message that or the response that our agent has generated. So this is what we need to take out. So here, once we make this call out, it is going to give us back the response body. If the response body is not null and it is not empty, okay, you can also check if the status is 200 or not, because it may time out. Again, this is not a headless agent is not a very good use case for Apex, because you have a timeout of 10 seconds here. But in case of your Node.js application where nothing like that happens, there you can increase your timeout to 20 seconds or 30 seconds, because this API can take more time. The synchronous one can take more time to respond. The streaming one will not take this much time, but the synchronous one can take that much time. So you have to handle that error scenarios as well. So the response status should be 200. In that case, we are deserializing this messages, and from there we are getting this messages 0th index, which is basically this messages 0th index. In that we have the message parameter. That is what we are getting, and that is what our final message is, and that is what we will return back to the calling application. So the calling application is going to call this invoke agent with the access token, session ID, and the message, and it will make a call out. It will get the messages. In that, it will find the message parameter and it will send it back to the UI. So this is our final class, and let me just save it and let's try to deploy it. Okay, it will give error because I have a debug statement here. Right, so it got deployed. So this is our final class, and it has 3 methods. The first one is get token, which is to get the access token. Once we have the access token, we can start a new session with this agent, and that is where we will have the access token and the session ID. This is what we will return back to the LWC component, and it will store it in the local JS variables. And then finally, whenever we have to make call out to the agent, let's say after a few minutes someone clicks on some book as a favorite, that is where we will invoke this message. That is where we will invoke this method, passing the access token, session ID, and the message, and it will make a call out passing this JSON body, basically the prompt that we have passed from the LWC, and it will get back the response from the agent. Then you can decide what do you want to do with that final message. Do you want to show it as a toast, as a notification, or maybe a new section that you want to render on the UI? So all of that is your UI design, however you want it to be. So I hope you understood what is this class doing. It is basically utilizing this agent API. So whatever the steps that we did in the Postman, we are doing all of that in this Apex class as well. And now testing it from the anonymous block is little complex, because you see, if I have to invoke this invoke agent, I first need the access token, which means that I need to make a call out here to this one, which will give me the access token and the session ID. So I basically need to make 3 call outs if I want to test it from the anonymous block. To finally invoke this agent, I need the access token and session ID. So that will be like 3 call outs in the same transaction, and definitely we will get the timeout exception here. So maybe let's just test it out in the LWC, because in the LWC, this will be divided in 2 different transactions. We will first call this get session info, which is going to make the get token and the session call out. So this will happen in one transaction in the connected callback, and then later we will directly invoke this invoke agent. So that's 2 different transactions. So both will have their own limits, and we won't see the read timeout error when we test it with the LWC component. So let's just see that in the next lecture.